guys, today I'm going to be drawing a red and white tulip. I'm not sure what this variety is called, but I think they're gorgeous and I need to add some new work to my botanical portfolio, so here we go. As you can see, I've started off with a basic pencil sketch and I'm adding in some very light washes of a neutral gray to begin describing the form of the tulip. I'm working with a size 12 round brush and using my Sakura Koi watercolors. It's best to start off light and transparent whenever you're working with watercolor because you can always add more darkness and saturation later, but if you've gone too dark, it's really hard to go back. To do this, mix your color until you reach a desired hue and then just keep adding water to lighten and increase the transparency. There's no need to add white when you're working with watercolor. I like to mix my colors and test them on a strip of scrap watercolor paper first to make sure they're what I'm going for. For me, this is especially important when I'm mixing a transparent wash, since I find I almost always have to add more water than I'm expecting. Once the basic form is blocked in with a very light gray, I begin adding some slightly darker layers that have more of a bluish purple undertone, and then adding that first wash of very light color to the stem. This is going to be a variegated tulip with white petals and red stripes, so once the form is fairly well described, I begin plotting out where the red striping will go. To do this, I'm working in very light translucent washes of a pinky red. Next, I begin laying down the stripes themselves in a slightly more opaque layers of a warm red, and here I'm using a size 6 round brush. I'm really taking my time with this since it's a major feature of the tulip, and I often find it helpful to flip the paper around so that I can work on it from different angles. More stripes. Now I'm adding in a few areas of warm yellow in light transparent washes once again. And adding some darker tones of green on the shadow side of the stem to help describe the form. Once that's all dried, I begin working on the shadow side of the tulip with a cooler red that has just a touch of green added to it. I'm using this color because cooler tones tend to sink or recede so that they give the impression of shadow, whereas warmer colors tend to come forward so they give the impression of light. And I've added the green to knock down the intensity of the red because shadows are also usually less saturated. More of the cool red. And some little details with an opaque application of that same warm red that I had used at the beginning. I'm using a size 0 round brush. Now that I have the darker, brighter stripes laid down, I can see that I need to add some emphasis in the shadows on the white parts of the petals. So I'm going back in with a neutral bluey gray. And now I'm adding further depth and darkness to the shadow side of the tulip. I had originally intended to do this piece in 100% watercolor since some of you guys had requested it, but at this point I just found the temptation to add in some other media too much to resist. So I'm using some Copics to further define the shadows and some Prismacolors to add sharpness to the stripes. I'm also using a neon Prismacolor, which is great in small doses or in light layers to add brightness and intensity. As usual, everything mentioned in this video would be listed in the description box. Some final details. These mainly consist of small areas of sharpness, opacity, and really deep shadows or really bright highlights. And working in a few final mid-tone tweaks. And we're done. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.